best revenge. Heard they was sleeping
What's up,
again.
what's happening? What's up, what's happening? What's up, what's happening? What's up, what's happening? Let me see you shake some, I hit you on your cash out. Let me see you bust some, I get you that new bag, yeah.
This is another certified hood classic.
You know I get you what you want, but just don't post me on your gram. Bitch, I'm doing what I want, y'all niggas doing what y'all can. Niggas talking crazy about me, when they see me they be fans. That shit crazy, how you do that? I could never understand. I get fly with it, two-tone AP diamonds. I'm in the G63 with the peanut butter seeds, these shits massaging me. They be the nigga that posts his gun the most, be the nigga that die with it. Like he ain't even get this slide with it. Like nigga got turned his eye with it. Like look, and I got two chains, run up that 2-2 bang. I'm in the spot, so I put in a 2-2 flame. I get that shit to Lil Brody, he cushion a half for a chain. Good at the bang, I'm in the spot with the gang. And this bitch, you want shit change, and this bitch.
Mommy don't know that it's getting hot at the body shop, doing something unholy. Lucky girl, she got married to a boy like you. She'd kick you out if she ever knew. But oh, you tell me that you do. Dirty, dirty boy, you know everyone is talking on the scene. I hear them whispering about the places that you've been, and now you don't know how to keep your business clean.
Well. Crypto YouTube. How's it going? CryptoStud here with another banger. Brought to you today by Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas. I have been invited to the conference. I'll be heading there. I'll give you a little more details here shortly in the video. Just want to say a special thank you to everybody for 70,000 subs. I did just remember that I do need to post this on Rumble as well. So if you're not following me on Rumble, go ahead and follow me on Rumble as well. Kind of forgot about it for a while there. I haven't posted in a while on Rumble. So it's very hard to gain traction, to start a channel and gain traction. And then when you start getting traction, you kind of just get lazy to try to gain traction somewhere else, right? You know, ever happened to you? Anyways, I hope everybody's had a great Sunday. We have a exciting week ahead. I don't really think we have a lot of reports to have this week, so we might have a more range-bound bullish structure setting in this week. I've said in my last videos, my last video I was pretty bullish, at least a bullish bounce in the markets. We've gotten a pretty darn good bullish bounce in the markets from my last video update. S&P had a nice bounce. Dow had a nice bounce, NASDAQ had a nice bounce. Overall, we had a nice bounce. I'm going to try to keep this video somewhat short, about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and then do another update on Tuesday, more related to the stocks. I do want to go into the stocks just a little bit, the stock index just a tad bit in the beginning, and then I want to really focus on Bitcoin. I want to talk about Daltons. A few people in the group have kind of forgotten what Dalton is and how that works. Really awesome, really great tool to utilize. The structure and the strategy of it is a very good tool to use on its own. It has an 80% hit rate on its own. You could just trade Daltons all day, every day, and do really well. I do need to do a statistical, I want to do like a statistical indicator on Daltons and see how well they play out, what asset they play out best on. I also do want to give a little bit of a Bitcoin update, I want to give a Bitcoin update, but I want to give a bot updates as well. I've updated the stats for the bots for the month, pretty much the end of February to about where we are now in March. And it actually did really well, surprisingly, because we had a downtrend for, about 3 weeks. We had a downtrend, but the bot ate well. So we'll go over that as well. I still have updates for the indicator to do. I'm working. It's just taking me forever, unfortunately. But it's being done right, and that's what we want. So let me go ahead and clean up the screen here. All right. So before we get too into this, I am invited to the Las Vegas Bitcoin conference in May. So going to be spreading market experts trading out throughout the conference to really get our name out there. So, you know, this is a big step for us. This is our first conference we're going to, market experts conference we're going to really give our name out. I have some special things that I'm going to be doing when we get closer to the events that I'm going to announce within the group. So if you're not in the group, this is a great time to join the group to get ready for these announcements that we'll be making, these huge announcements we'll be making towards the Bitcoin. The day actually that I leave for the Bitcoin conference, I'll be making a huge announcement. So it's always great to see that, right? In other news, you know, we'll start looking at Bitcoin charts. I'm going to look at the Forex Factory's news for this week because I don't really think we have a lot of news to go over, news reports to go over. I know PPI, I think, comes out on Monday the last time I looked. And then I think other than that, we're pretty low on reports this week. So I'm expecting more of a bullish posture with range, you know, ranging most of this week. So let's go ahead and look at the reports real quick and see. We have PMI report on Monday. Anything else crazy this week for us? Let's check out Tuesday. So Member Williams speak, not really much from him. CB consumer confidence might be a bad read, and that might give us somewhat of a pullback down maybe. Our last one was a pretty bad read as well. So new home sales probably won't be too terrible. Again, we have some heavy hitting reports in the beginning of the week, and then it should cool off towards the end. So the PMI is pretty big report. Consumer sentiment's consumer confidence is a pretty big report. And then outside of that, we don't really core durable goods. It's not really, it's kind of trash. Who cares about that? Goods trades balance, I don't really care about that. It might be kind of important with tariffs coming into effect, but we'll wait until next month to see what kind of that affects, how much that affects that. PCE price index, yeah, I mean, I think the two heavy hitters is Monday and Tuesday, and then we're kind of golden for the rest of the week, probably range bounds, maybe a more bullish structure set up for us. I still am looking for 73K. We'll discuss that a tad bit more into the chat or into the video as we get into that. But before we begin, I do want to give a huge spotlight to one individual. Last week, we had a perfect test of the weekly P. And I know a few members in our group had hit it, tagged it, and did it. But one exceptionally well executed trade was by Caesar. So I just want to give him a shine. You know, he did a wonderful job, wonderful execution. I FOMO'd in. I didn't FOMO into a trade, but I FOMO'd seeing this trade from him. That was great, man. Fantastic job. I know you've been working really diligently, putting in effort, and love to see that. I mean, you cannot execute that any better. It bounced off weekly P, tagged weekly P, and then took off. And now we're at 86,000. I'm not sure if he's still holding the trade or not, but you know, fantastic job, man. We had discussed the weekly P being touched. You traded that to perfection. Outstanding job, man. Round of applause for yourself. Pat yourself on the back, dude. Congrats. Huge. I had some things that I was dealing with this week, personal things I was dealing with this week, so I didn't quite get to trade the trades I wanted to. But, you know, bravo to you, man. What a great trade. Fantastic. I really, you know, seeing you take that awesome, dude. It really put a smile on my face. So, you know, congrats to you. I hope you enjoy the profits, and let's keep killing it, man. We got a new weekly P that just set up this week. We're going to see if we can find any good trades with it and go from there. So before we do begin getting into the charts, I do want to go over Dalton. I have a few people who've asked me what exactly is Dalton, what exactly does it do. So I've posted in the past one of my videos, free videos on here, the concept of Dalton and how it works. And you know, I want to say this is probably one of the first things that I really got me into volume profile trading more so, and taking the consideration of volume profile and using that to my advantage when I'm trading. And then, you know, incorporating other things like pivot points, order blocks, and then using Juxtapose and my indicators especially to help me trade better and trade, you know, just be better to look for better positions to take trades. So what exactly is a Dalton? So we actually, and this is great that we have this video today because we have it confirmed. We have Dalton confirmed for today. So Dalton is when D open is outside. So D open, we have D open right here, is outside previous day value area high or previous day value area low. So you could have D open down here and that becomes a Dalton. So now when you have this Dalton right here and we come back into this range, PD value area high, and we come into here and we start consolidating down here, a couple candle confirmations inside previous day value area high, there's an 80% chance that we move back down to the bottom of the range of PD value area low. So for today, let's say, you know, this, we just got D open. We just started the trading day about, 20 minutes ago. So D opens outside value area high and value area low. So if price action comes back into this area and we range around this a little bit right here, chop around and get some candle confirmation, there's an 80% chance that we will come down here and tag value area low. And also there's a lot of times when you're, you know, in a bullish structure, in a bullish standpoint, and you're kind of trending upward, that value area low is a great place to look for longs. And there's times that I don't take longs off of it, and there's times I should, and it just really depends, you know, how busy you are, what you're doing, and sometimes it might not be a good trade. You know, you could use the confluence with other items to help you find that. So all in all, that is Dalton. You can find that in Mind Over Markets. He discusses that in detail. Wonderful book. I highly recommend if you haven't read it. And then, you know, of course, it's the same concept, D open on the bottom side. Let's say this was D open right here, this previous week POC. Let's say that was D open, right? So if we oscillated back into this, if we moved back up into this area, started getting some candle closures in here, then there's an 80% chance that we would come up to this value area high. So there's been times in the past where I'll look to close positions because it's going against me based on a Dalton. You know, I'll take profits or close a position or not even open a position. Like for me right now, I probably wouldn't be looking to long up here, just knowing that there's possibly a chance that we have a Dalton. And, you know, I'm already in a long position. But if I was looking for a long position, I say, okay, so we have a Dalton, a possible Dalton today to the downside. So let me start looking for value area low longs to take, assuming that things look good on the higher time frames using Juxtapose and other indicators. And that would give you some confluence to take a position down here once Dalton has confirmed, Dalton has played out, and we came down here on this side. So I did just want to explain that just a tad bit better for the newer traders in the group, and kind of just give that info for free. It might be my downfall, but this will be the last time I discuss it, last time I talk about it on video. So, you know, if you're new to the channel and you're new to trading how I trade, and this is a caveat right here. I just gave you a golden goose right there. And egg prices are up right now, so that's a lot. I mean, that golden goose egg is a lot, right? So hopefully that helps you a little bit in your trading journey and really gives you, you know, some confluence and some confidence in taking some good trades, right? So I did want to look, you know, this is going to be mainly Bitcoin, mainly the whole video is going to be Bitcoin. I'm going to look briefly at indexes, some of the indexes, and then we're going to move on quick. So I did just want to take a look at these real quick. Long liquidations are pretty heavy, short liquidations pretty heavy as well on this. Okay, just taking this, and then we need, let's see, this heat map. Okay, so we kind of have a lot of liquidations here down at the bottom side again. Boy, it's tough to see that. And then my area down here got quite a bit there as well. So, all right. So we pretty much, let's just jump into the charts, man. Let's just get this moving. Let's see what we can find. Let's see what we could do. So we'll jump on the S&P first. Weekly's looking terrible. Weekly's looking just as bad as Bitcoin, but we do have a new weekly, a new weekly bar that just opened for all these, especially for Bitcoin. So I haven't actually looked at the weekly Bitcoin chart yet. So this will be a first time for us. We'll do it together, right? Day's looking pretty darn good. 12 hours looking pretty darn nice. This is kind of the reason, kind of my inflection point of us possibly moving higher, is because these time frames were starting to really look good. In my last video, 10 hours kind of flatlining for us, so we'll kind of negate that one. 8 hours looking pretty darn nice. It's flatlining as well. There hasn't really been much momentum. Sometimes it's difficult to do videos on Sunday when price action, you know, of course, hasn't moved all weekend. So analyzing stocks on a Sunday night is kind of not the greatest. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we start getting a little bit more data for the week of stocks, and then, you know, I got a better understanding of where we're going or what we're doing. So, let me actually go to our right chart, which should be on stocks. Yes, I want to proceed. So if we remember bullish, yeah, this was Bitcoin. We'll get to that shortly here. Let's go to S&P. So S&P, my last video, I did say bullish. We are bullish. We are in a 2-hour order block though on S&P, but it's not really the strongest 2-hour order block. There's not really much detail there, so I feel like with the higher time frames looking, I mean, the 4 hour starting to turn up and look like that's pretty nice. Let's see the 2 hour. Let's check out the 2 hour. 2 hours looking really clean. I mean, S&P is looking really nice. I don't see how we can't continue to keep going up. 6, 8, and 10 are just a little, you know, a little questionable, but more to the upside because the higher time frames are looking pretty decent. Outside the weekly, day looks beautiful, 12-hour looks beautiful. I'm still bullish, so we're just going to continue the bullish trend on S&P. We're going to say we're bullish still. So let's run it. Let's keep running it. You know, let's just keep it going, right? Let's check out Dow. Pretty much, Bitcoin is literally running away from the Dalton right now as we speak. So, Dow, I was temporary bull, overall bearish on the Dow in my last video, and I'm still temporary bullish, overall bearish on the Dow as well. Weekly still pointing down. Weekly is going to take a bit more time to play out. Day's looking beautiful. I mean, you know, you got to look at these other time frames and see that, like, even if your overall forecast on a weekly time frame is that of bearish, you still need to know the current time, the current trend, what it is. And right now, we're still bullish. Things still look good. Unless we get some terrible report tomorrow or Tuesday, you know, things chart-wise still look good. Okay? This is still looking beautiful. And, you know, for me, I'm kind of kicking myself in the back, like, you know, things are looking pretty darn nice, and I'm really still looking for that ultimate pullback, that one little ultimate pullback, so that I can start really getting into the stocks that I've been eyeing for months that I haven't gotten into because I'm waiting for that pullback. You know, you don't want to buy at the top, you want to buy low, sell high, right? Okay, that's how you make money. Yeah. So the Dow's looking really good. I mean, I would say the Dow's looking a tad bit not as good as S&P is, but even the 2 hours starting to turn up pretty nice on us. So I'm still temporary bullish, overall bearish with the Dow, but I mean, I would say that the 10 hours looking a lot better than S&P's 10 hour, 12 hours looking great. And then the day's looking really beautiful too for this. Again, the weekly's still pointing down, but we still, you know, we have room on these lower time frames to kind of just get a little bit of a push high, and that push high on the lower time frames still wouldn't move the weekly worth anything. So, you know, still temporary bullish, overall bearish on the Dow. Let's get into Nas. I don't really look at NASDAQ too much, but we will today, briefly. Weekly still pointing down, same concept as the others, but I'm sure these other time frames looking beautiful. Days looking beautiful. I'm not looking to short any of this quite yet. 10 hours just a little choppy, but still overall 12-hour dailies looking beautiful. 8 hours a little sloppy for us. 6 hours looking really great. Let's see, 4 hours probably the same, looking really good. Yep, 4 hours looking pretty darn nice. Not bad. 2 hours probably looking beautiful. Yep, 2 hours looking awesome. So overall, NASDAQ, I'm still bullish on it. I want to say the last video I was bullish as well with it, so we'll just continue that. I'm going to go ahead and put this here because I don't know if I wrote something. I don't see it. I don't see me writing anything, so here we go. All right. I do want to look at the dollar real quick briefly. We're firing through these real quick. We're just trying to get an overall feel for everything. Dollar's weak. Wow, that's weak. Strong fell this high, kind of just tiptoeing higher. Not really that great. Weekly does have bullish divergence forming. So my last video, I was bullish. We had a nice little green candle while I was bullish, and now it's just kind of... It's crazy, it's crazy to be bullish and then it only moves up a couple ticks. Like, the price action on the dollar is just kind of crappy right now. But that's good for Bitcoin. We want that... We want this to come down for us, but 12 hours still looking really good. Day's looking pretty good with it. I mean, we could still have somewhat of a relief rally with the dollar, and Bitcoin can still have a nice, decent run with it. But again, I'm kind of kicking myself in the back. I do want things to be less. I want things to be cheaper, but a little pain for later greatness, right? So we have this nice little rally. We identify this nice little rally. We enjoy the nice little rally. We short it down, and then we buy lower, right? But overall, this is looking pretty good. The dollar's looking decent. I mean, we've had a bullish posture with it, so it's had a bit of a price rise. Nothing like what you see for Bitcoin. Clearly it's not as volatile, but with kind of that bullish structure still kind of rising up a little bit. So I gotta say I'm still bullish on the dollar too. I don't really see reason to not be bullish on the dollar for the moment, which is fine. It could be a bit bullish for us as long as Bitcoin still gets some relief from that. So all right, so my last video I was pretty much bullish to 85k. We came up here, tagged this, came back down. It was actually a weekly P. We had a weekly P to the upside, and then we came back down. And here we are, trying to work our way back up. We did have 81k area. We had a weekly P right over here. Tuesday, that was on Tuesday. We had that. Had a great run up here, and then kind of pulled back down here. And now we're testing this 2 to 4 hour order block up here that we have. So overall looking pretty good. My last video I did publish that we'd get the weekly P here, tagged it, and then we worked our way back down to the bottom here. Got the next weekly P down here, took it. A few people in the group took that. It was a great trade for y'all. I'm glad you took it. Got in a little bit later, but I'm still in a decent position on my long, but nothing to write a book about, right? So weekly starting to see, this is the thing with weekly starting to turn over. And the last time we started a turnover, we broke out again. So, started a turnover, and then we had this nice run. So, I really wouldn't mind. I really want that 73k here before we really get this weekly to turn over. And I'm kicking myself because I want to add more to my position at 73k. But we don't get it. We don't get it. You have to adapt to what the market gets you. Sometimes you don't get the position you want. Sometimes you don't get the trade you want, and that's okay. You take what the market gives you, right? But the weekly's starting to turn around a bit better, much better than the stocks index are. Day is a little concerning to see it. We're starting to come up on here slowly but surely. The day does look a bit concerning though, but still pointing up, still bullish posture for it. We're not yelling for the hills yet on it. The 12 hours looking pretty darn good. I mean, I can't be against it yet. 10 hours a little choppy. I'm not a big fan of that. 8 hours not looking too beautiful either. Just very flatline, very yucky, just yucky PA for us. And sometimes we have that, right? 4 hours looking beautiful. I think the 6 hours okay. We had a volatility. Volatility was coming in here, and we're kind of getting that move now. That volatility to the upside. Those higher time volatility indicators are great. This 2 hour volatility index kind of had a nice pump. Overall, I mean, the 2 hours looking pretty darn good. We are starting to top out on the 2 hour though, so maybe we hit this order block and then we work our way back down. It's tough to say. These medium time frames are kind of choppy, kind of flatline for us, but the higher time frames are still bullish. 12 hours still looking good. Day still looking good. I can't be bearish. So let's say we're going to be bullish to about 88k, 88k, 89. 89K, and then possibly 90K might be a good area for us to look for a nice little short position back down. Where is the weekly P for us? The weekly P is sitting here, and we have not tested it yet. So with the weekly P being there, that's kind of interesting. For me, I kind of want to see this area over here taken out. Maybe like, maybe this spot right about here. I feel like kind of get this range up here and then possibly work our way back down to the weekly P. Maybe bounce and then work our way back down more. Ideally, getting up here and tagging this would be nice to see. Now, it gets a little tricky because if we start hitting my old order buy block right here, which now this buy block is now a resistance blocks. So we go ahead and just turn that red, right? And then I think other than that, that's the biggest level of resistance for us to the upside. But I can't really be super bullish yet until we get to like 90, 91, 92. Then I might change my tune a little bit, because then structure on the higher time frame would have changed. For me currently sitting on a 2 hour, I see a lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high, maybe, possibly. But let's see. So we get this 88, 89. We do have a Dalton today, so we could pull back. The weekly P is sitting at 84, 880. The Dalton is sitting at, if EXO loads, EXO's been giving me a heck of a time. 84.6. Ooh. 84.6 on the Dalton. 84.6. And then we said the weekly P was 84.6, right? Around that time. Around that. Well, weekly P just disappeared on me. Yeah, weekly P just disappeared on me. Let me re-add Serenity. Yeah, it just disappeared. All right, got it added back here. Let's wait for the load. Take a little drink here. I don't know if I clicked it as I was switching tabs or something. It's crazy. But I want to say that the weekly P was pretty much where our Dalton finishes at PD Valley area low. So I would say if we do confirm that weekly P, targeting that weekly P at the bottom would be pretty nice to see. All right, now we're back in business. In 2 hour weekly P is sitting, 84.8. So the weekly, or the Dalton would be front ran at the weekly P. Oh, interesting to see. Interesting to see. Well, so we have a whole week for the weekly P, but it would be very interesting to see this Dalton taken out. So even I'm bullish at 88, 89, but I do want to say that playing this Dalton, coming back into this range on this Dalton, and then playing it down to the bottom here, the value area low, with that weekly P would be a exceptionally awesome trade. And I think that'd be a really good long position to take if we were to work our way back down there into that area. It's just that confluence with the weekly P and value area low is just awesome. I've seen multiple times where that's happened. Dalton plays out, hits the weekly P, tags it, and bounces like crazy. So I think that would be awesome to see. We'll see if it plays out. Need some candle closures back in this area right here to play out. But overall, for me, I have to be bullish. Maybe we go down, tie this weekly P, and then come back up and bounce. I mean, these higher time frames are still looking pretty darn good. The weekly's still The weekly's the only bad one here, but again, the weekly can take a bit of time before it plays out. So, but yeah, I think this is a good video, good stopping point. We do have that liquidity at the bottom side right here over where PD value area is. PD value area low is like right about here. So we do have a nice liquidity box down here. So it'd be kind of nice to see that taken out. But I do want to, you know, using Juxtapost and using my indicators, I have to be bullish. I have to stay bullish for the time being. If we work our way back down to value area low and we start losing value area low and we start losing weekly P, I might change my tune. We'll see what the market gives us. And until then, I hope you've enjoyed this video. We're at about 29 minutes on it, so not too bad. But till next time, peace.
Once upon a younger year, and all our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said